Okay, the informal meeting of City Commission's called to order. Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Brown? Dr. Estrop?
Here.
Mrs. Houston? Here. Mrs. Tackett? Here. Mr. Rue?
Here. Brian.
Yes, Commission, tonight we have one work session, and with us tonight is Executive Director of the Clark County OIC, which is Opportunities for Individual Change, and that is Leslie Crew. So with that, I'll turn it over to Leslie for her presentation and introduction as the new director for a little bit of time now.
Oh, Les, could you bring your microphone in front of, there we go, so we can all hear you?
How's that?
There we
Is
go.
that better?
As long as we can
Okay.
hear you, it'd be great.
All right. Thank you for having me. Good evening. I appreciate the invitation to let us speak on behalf of OIC tonight. With me, I have Trish Griffin, our Director of Operations, Amy Swank, our Director of Finance, and Tim Durnell, our Director of HEAP Programming. So thank you for having us tonight. We appreciate you letting us have a chance to talk. OIC, for those of you that aren't familiar with us, we are a community action agency serving Springfield and Clark County with the mission to provide services designed to reduce poverty and promote employment and education here in Clark County. A little bit of history. OIC began let me do this. Okay, there we go. OIC began serving Springfield and Clark County in 1971 as the Opportunities Industrialization Center Springfield. This organization was under the principles of civil rights activist Dr. Leon Sullivan, who believed in providing tools people needed to overcome the barriers of poverty. Carol Scott was the director of Springfield Urban League at that time and felt that Springfield could use the same type of training for economic stability. She established OIC here in Springfield and provided training for job opportunities to help families get off welfare. Quick note, there is a great YouTube documentary on Dr. Leon Sullivan. He was, it's called A Principled Man. It's about an hour long. It's very interesting in that he was the first African-American board member at Chevrolet, and he was able to lead activist activities so that in South Africa could bring down the apartheid. And what I thought was interesting as a local girl, my dad retired from Navistar, my father-in-law retired from Navistar, and International Harvester was one of the first companies that bought into that commitment. So it's a cool documentary if you want to learn a little bit more about where we came from. In 1989, OIC was designated by the state of Ohio and the Office of Community Assistance as the Community Action Agency serving Clark County. So that's a little bit about what how we've come about. We offer programming in crisis. We try to encourage independence from government assistance. And most community action agencies have either Head Start as a component, weatherization. We at OIC have the HEAP programming. We like to offer a hand up and not a handout. We give support to community members during the difficult times, offering utility or rent assistance through HEAP programming. We also offer vocational training and employment coaching while unemployed. We also offer an alternative school for credit recovery for students that need a little bit more than the typical classroom. So community support. Over the last several years, OIC has worked diligently to support community organizations and community needs. Since 2023, OIC secured ARPA funding on behalf of Sheltered Inc. to ensure homelessness services could continue with proper eligibility and fiscal oversight. To date, since 2023, we have processed 1,041 applications and distributed $1.3 million in reimbursement to their organization for services for qualifying individuals at no cost to Sheltered Inc. We've had staff members that will help their staff process applications, ensure that they have all the necessary documents for eligibility, and then we have fiscal oversight that ensures that all steps have been checked and balanced. So I feel like that's a pretty good neighboring effort on our part. Also in 2023, OIC was identified as the fiduciary agent and a grant awardee on behalf of 9 partnering agencies to help work on the gun violence issues that were a part of our community. CVI, PI, Community-Based Violence Intervention and Prevention Initiative was established. How that all began, Judge Lancaster from Juvenile Court came together with some invested organizations who were recognizing that the gun-related charges were happening at a much younger age each year. And she approached several organizations to see if they would be willing to invest not only their time, but also their finances to come together, work around a table to try to come up with some solutions. And so the organizations that committed, I want to make sure I get everybody their props. Springfield City Police, Clark County Juvenile Court, Springfield City School District, Clark County Sheriff Department, Springfield Foundation, Mental Health Recovery Board of Clark Greene and Madison Counties, Clark County Combined Health District, and the NAACP all work together in partnership. At that time, it was identified that OIC was the best organization at the table to apply for this federal grant that Judge Lancaster had come upon through the Department of Justice. So we applied, gathered community information, and were awarded. So in 2023, we also identified Case Western Reserve University as a qualified research university to help conduct the community needs assessment. We hired one full-time staff to work as the coordinator, and in that time, completed strategic planning with all the participating organizations. In November 2024, we submitted a budget revision to begin implementation of the strategies that were identified on this strategic plan. We waited over 6 months to receive approval for the budget revision. On April 16th, 2025, we were granted approval of these revisions, and 6 days later, the grant was terminated. 373 grants throughout the country were terminated with no warning, effective immediately from the Department of Justice. 80 plus were gun-related grants. I know that there's been kind of some scuttle around why we haven't documented the strategic plan, why it hasn't been published, that kind of thing. It was determined at the time that we wanted to wait until the revisions were approved so that we knew exactly what we were spending the money on. By the time we got ready to do that, then it was terminated. And so it wasn't for a lack of transparency, it was just a lack of timing in order to do so. So I want to be very clear that we handled ourselves with all the mandatory requirements of that grant. Since then, since April 22nd, we filed an appeal on April 30th. We had spent down $400,000 in expenses for consultant fees, the community needs evaluation, the coordinator, project and fiscal oversight, and the strategic planning. We actually accrued $40,000 in the month of April that we paid out for, and due to the termination, are in the hole for now. We've reached out since April 30th 4 different times to our grant manager. No further on what's to come. So that is. So now we want to get back to our business. As we've worked hard to support our neighboring organizations, it's now time to get back to our business. We're moving forward to continue our home energy assistance programming, increase our adult vocational training, and recruit for our Learning Opportunities Center. I want to give you a little bit more detail on each of our programs in case you may not be familiar with what we offer. Currently, our HEAP program, we have Summer HEAP, PIP, and Winter HEAP. It's home energy assistance programs. If clients are eligible, they have a large package to fill out. We have case managers on site that do a very good job of assisting. We have a drive-through attendant. You can drop it off. You can come back. You can come back. You can come back with whatever documents that you didn't have the first round, and they will assist you on what is necessary for a completed packet to process the application. To date, over the last fiscal year, we've served 3,100 plus clients and provided over $210,000 in assistance. That particular program is located at 600 West Main Street. They're open from 8 to 12, have a lunch hour now, and then they close out 1 to 5. And then I listed the phone number if you would like to We are in the thick of learning a new system with the state, a lot of bumps, trials, to get going, but we're doing our best. And I want to give praise to our staff. They're working really hard to still meet clients' needs and answer all their questions and process paperwork. And we're still trying to learn a new system. So typical of social work. Okay, adult workforce training. OIC offers workforce training. We have CLA and CLT and forklift certification. We just recently contracted with TJFS to offer a new career exploration training. We have vocational readiness instructors that assist clients in their aptitudes and interests. We're going to be utilizing the youth science assessment Chamber offers to all of our school students. We're going to use that for the adults, and then take that, and then we have these really neat virtual headsets that people can actually dive in a little bit further into what their skills might be or interest might be, to actually see what it would be like in that particular type of career. Then we assist with resume building and interview coaching. We have the ability to do some translation for non-English speaking adults. We're working hard to build partnerships with local businesses for interview and placement. All of that training takes place at our Urban Training Center at 26 South Yellow Street. That's the number if anybody's interested. We're actively recruiting. We have flyers at our Heap location as well. Anxious to get that started on Monday. Oh, I went too fast. I'm sorry. Let's see. Right, Learning Opportunities Center. Okay, so we also offer an alternative school for credit recovery. Youth that go there are ages 16 to 21. It's located at 10 South Yellow Spring Street. During the regular school session, they're open 8:30 to 2:30. During summer session, we go year round. They're open from 8:30 to 11:30. This is, I would say, supported pretty heavily by Springfield City Schools because most of our students are from Springfield City. We have the ability to offer community service, vocational exploration, and training. We have had a larger enrollment in the past, and we'd like to get that going again. So we're just trying to get the word out that we are available. And then I listed the phone number for that as well. That's what I have. I wanted to offer, if I may, a few final points. I watch these meetings every other Tuesday, and it's been quite a learning curve. I've been in this community my whole life. I've done social work my whole life. I've been with Rocking Horse Center. I've been with JFS. I've been with FCFC. I've been with Whitburg. My life has always been about advocating on behalf of kids and families. What I will say about this community is that anyone that's a frontline worker, anyone that's in the social services field, anyone that's in a government position, I know that your heart's in the right place. I know that you're working for the right reason. I know that you're all advocates for people that are disadvantaged. I think it's important for people that come to these meetings, participate. I think it's wonderful that you offer the opportunity for them to ask questions, even challenge decisions that are made. I think it's great that we have this forum. I would encourage people to offer support or solution rather than speculation. I think that all of us that have done this a minute aren't doing it for the money. We're not doing it for any kind of fame. We're doing it because we care about people and we want a better community. And so I would encourage people and challenge people in a different way to look for ways that you can volunteer, look for ways that you can ask to be on a board, participate in Leadership Clark County, participate in United Way's Day of Service, participate in Social Services 101 so that you know what this community does. We do a lot of good for a lot of different people, and I think that that's what we should focus on more during these meetings.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I want to say, not to lob a compliment back to you, but when I heard you were taking this role, I was very excited because I'm very familiar with your passion for this community and your longevity here. So it was an excellent decision for the OIC to bring you on. I really appreciate them making that decision and you saying yes. I mean that. And thank you for your presentation tonight and all the bumps that you've had in the road with the funding challenges. I know Dr. Estrop's been looking into that as well, and how it's impacting all of us. And we know it's majorly impacted you as well and your organization. Thank you. Is there other comments from commissioners or questions? Dr. Estrop?
I had the good pleasure to work with OIC and also with you when you were involved in the family council work.
Yeah.
Congratulations. The work that OIC is doing in addition to the work of the Springfield City School District and other educational institutions is critical for our community. It's shaping the future. It is tomorrow, but it's here today. So I just want to encourage you to grow that partnership. As you mentioned, I think it's a critical one. You also provide, through the HEAP program, some incredibly important funds to keep people from the worst of all possible, not having availability of utilities, particularly in the winter months. I would encourage you, if you have time, Leslie, to stay. Unfortunately, all of our work is getting a little more challenging, and we have some updated financial news to share with everyone tonight.
I'm just going to say thank you for coming and presenting. I thought some of the stuff you said was really interesting. And then I guess my only ask, and I'm sure you plan on doing this already, is just give us an update if you hear anything on this CVIPI.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thank you for everything you're doing.
So you and I go way back. You mentioned leadership, Clark
do.
County. So
We
that
do.
was, we were class of '08 together. So it's been a long road for us, but I want to commend you. Mike has picked the right person to carry on the torch of OIC. You have a great staff over there, and it's really impressive the uniqueness of OIC, that you have such a diverse portfolio and making such a far impact within our community, from homelessness to youth to jobs, to heating. And I just want to thank you guys so much for being a great partner, being a great collaborator with all the organizations. And we're just, we're lucky to have you guys. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. Is there a motion to adjourn the hearing?
So moved.
It's been
Second.
moved and seconded. Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Houston,
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett,
Yes.
Dr. Estrop,
Yes.
Mr. Rue.
Yes.
Rob,
The
we'll take
pub-
a quick second so Logan can get her presentation pulled up, and then we'll transition to the public hearing.
Okay. Thanks for catching. Just so you know, we will have a public hearing that is scheduled here shortly, and then we'll follow up. We have some folks here that are to receive a proclamation. We're excited to celebrate with them. We have 2 proclamations tonight. So we'll have our hearing first, and then we'll move into our opportunity to celebrate some community members. Thank you. Good.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Public hearing scheduled for 6:40 is called to order. Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Brown? Dr. Estrop?
Here.
Mrs. Houston?
Here.
Mrs. Tackett?
Here.
Mr. Rue?
Here. Has proper legal notice been given for this hearing?
Notice of a public hearing for the purpose of receiving comments on the fiscal year 2024 Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, paper, was published in the Springfield News-Sun, a newspaper of general circulation within the city. Attached hereto is a true and correct copy of the legal notice published on June 10th, 2025.
I move that the communication be ordered received, recorded in the minutes, and filed.
Second.
The motion's been made and seconded. Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes. Staff report?
Good evening, Mayor Rue, Commissioners. I am back again with another public hearing regarding our HUD funding. As you all know, the city receives CDBG, home, and ESG funding from HUD as an entitlement grantee. Each year, the city is required to report and assess the progress that we've made towards our action plan goals outlined in the city's annual action plan after the close of the program year. So Springfield's 2024 CAPER represents the 5th and final year of the city's 5-year 2020 to 2024 consolidated plan. So what is the CAPER? It is a mouthful. Ms. Gillis did a great job of describing it earlier as the Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report. This summarizes the city's performance for the year. So the city is required to comply with HUD's citizen participation plan that requires a 30-day public comment period to review the CAPER. In addition, our plan requires the public hearings be held prior to the submission of our plan to HUD. So the CAPER has been posted on the website. We've made it available to anybody by email. We also had the public notice in the News-Sun. And then, of course, we're here tonight for the public hearing. So what are our priorities? They're listed here on the screen: to provide decent housing by preserving the affordable housing stock, increasing the availability of affordable housing, reducing discriminatory barriers, increasing the supply of supportive housing for those with special needs, and transitioning homeless persons and families into housing. To provide a suitable living environment through safe, more livable neighborhoods, greater integration of LMI residents throughout the city, and to expand economic opportunities through an increased number of jobs that pay self-sufficient wages, homeownership opportunities, and the empowerment of low and moderate income persons to achieve self-sustainability. So all of those are listed in our con plan, and all of those activities that we're funding must meet one of these 3 priorities. So on to funding. The CAPER can be a little bit confusing, especially when it comes to the timing of our expenditures versus the program year of the funds. So the top graphic there is essentially showing what we received, what was allocated, what we received from HUD in fiscal year 2024, whereas the bottom graphic is showing what we've actually expended in the program year. So program expenditures include funding from previous years as well. So the annual action plan outlines how we plan to spend the funds for a specific program year, but the CAPER is reporting on what we've actually accomplished during the reporting year, regardless of what funding year we expended those funds. So to put things in perspective, let's take CDBG, for example. I've been extremely honest with you as commissioners, as well as our appointed staff. I know we meet monthly to talk about where we are with our spending. We've talked to our subrecipients about this as well, that we must be expending dollars in a timely fashion, specifically when it comes to our CDBG funding. So that means holding our subrecipients accountable to their contract periods, sticking to extremely strict deadlines, specifically when it comes to infrastructure projects, and then also consistently making draws on projects that we have outstanding. And that's really reflected here on the CDBG side. So I'm sure there it looks like, well, you only received 1.7 mil, you expended 3. Keep in mind, we can expend dollars from previous program years. Let's talk through some key accomplishments. I have some on the screen here, but the City of Springfield met or exceeded our program year 2024 annual action plan goals and code enforcement, demolition, infrastructure, homeowner areas, and rehab and public services. We did fall short on the economic development side, and that's something that we're working with the economic development team on programming. And we plan to implement that in program year 2025. You can see a few projects to note, specifically on the facility and parks improvement side of CDBG. One project that is not up there that the community would definitely be familiar with is the Fountain Avenue repaving. So that's something else that was completed in program year 2024. In addition to some other CDBG programs, projects would be the Health and Safety Repair Program. We had 29 owner-occupied housing units rehab. We had 42 blighted properties demoed. And then, of course, we've issued an RFP for 2024 CDBG Public Services and ESG funds that were awarded to 2 different agencies, both Project Woman and Sheltered Inc. in December. On home, you'll see that we had one project completed for 742 Clifton Ave, but there's many other projects in motion right now that we're looking to close here soon. Some of those projects would be the Community Gardens Phase 2, that we're still working to close that project out officially, Rose Commons, and then the NHP single family homes. So, for example, we just closed our first home last week, and although we used fiscal year 24 funds, that project, those draws will not be included until the next action plan. And then finally on ESG, we had a total of 617 clients served under ESG programs, which include shelter operations and rapid rehousing activities. Sheltered Inc. reported a total of 439 active clients, and Project Woman reported a total of 178 active clients for program year 2024. So as we conclude here, I promised that I would keep it short. Definitely will open it up to any questions that you may have, but I just want to be very clear about what we're discussing here is separate from what you'll be voting on during your first reading this evening. Also, no action is needed from the City Commission. This is simply ensuring that we are complying with requirements.
Thank you. Are there questions from commissioners? Dr. Estrop?
I just wanted to commend you, Logan, and your staff. We've gotten a lot done of recent, made very good use of these federal funds to help our community and help the citizens of our community. So keep up the good work. As you and I both know, and we'll learn a little later in this meeting, it's become significantly more challenging now, given some of the decisions that have been made at the federal level.
Thank you.
Thank you, Logan, for all your work. The community part of our organization and our city is so important. And I would just like to ask you, what are the best ways, or do you have best practices or anything that you can share with us on how you get the community involved in the outreach and deciding what projects or what is needed in different neighborhoods, right? You have ears and eyes in those neighborhoods to help you and guide you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So a large part of this and how we'll allocate funding over the next 5 years is based on our consolidated plan. So we've been referencing for the past, 5 minutes as I'm talking through this caper, we're talking about our fiscal year 2020 to fiscal year 2024 consolidated plan, and then the action plan that comes from that. But tonight you'll be voting on the consolidated plan for fiscal year 2025 to 2029. And in large part, when it comes to how funding should be allocated, we're going to be referencing back to that consolidated plan for our subsequent action plans. So as we've discussed in the past, I really commend the team for the great work that they've done over the last couple of months to get engagement, to get feedback from the community when it comes to how funds should be spent. But to your point, the work is not done. We'll continue to, have neighborhood engagements as necessary, as appropriate, to continue to have those conversations with our local neighborhoods that, to your point, know best about some of the gaps that they're experiencing.
And just to follow up to that, when you go into the schools, right, we still have a program that we go into the schools and work with the different schools. Can you speak to that a little bit as well?
Sure. So we have the Legacy 24 program, which is in conjunction with the Springfield City Schools. So we just wrapped that program up a couple of months ago at the end of their school year. And it's really an opportunity for us as the city to further engage with some of our future leaders. So it's an opportunity for us to tell them what city government is, and then to hear from them on what they want to see in their community. From there, we have a project. We had a $1,500 budget this year that allowed them to create projects and that were really, benefiting the community, but more so their school. So there was a variety of projects, from murals to bags to donate to the Salvation Army. There was a myriad of things, but it's really an opportunity for us to connect with the Springfield City Schools on a deeper level.
Comment? Are there comments from the audience on this hearing only? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn this hearing?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Clerk, call the roll.
Dr. Estrop,
Yes.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. Packett?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes. Okay. Before we start the meeting, we're going to have a proclamation. And can I invite the members of the softball team, Kenridge softball team, and their coaches and staff to maybe sit along the front row while we do this, please? And parents are always welcome, because I know are a big part of the team too. But thank you.
Okay.
Well, so we have a proclamation on behalf of the city of Springfield. I'm going to read it, but we just want to thank you for taking the time to be here with us this evening, because we really do honor what you've done and what you've accomplished, okay? So I'm going to read the proclamation, and we'll have a few comments. And of course, we like a photo opportunity, because you guys are like, some sports royalty in Clark County, okay? Okay. The proclamation reads, whereas the Kenton Ridge High School Cougar softball team has long exemplified excellence in athletics, and in 2025, they reach an extraordinary milestone by winning their first ever Division IV state softball title. And whereas the Cougars demonstrated outstanding skill, determination, and teamwork throughout the season, finishing with a perfect 32-0 record, a historic accomplishment unmatched in Clark County softball history. Whereas the team championship journey was marked by dominant performance in the state title game, outscoring their opponent 9-0, allowing only 5 hits over 7 innings and striking out 9 batters with fierce competitive energy and composure. Whereas the title also represents Clark County's first ever state softball championship, making it not only a school achievement but a point of pride for the entire community. Whereas the Cougars' rise to the top began in 2021, steady climbing the tournament ranks year after year, playing in a district title game in 2021, winning a district title in 2022, advancing to a regional final in 2023, and finally winning the regional title in 2024 before capturing the ultimate prize in 2025. Now, therefore, I, Rob Rue, Mayor of the City of Springfield and President of our commission, hereby proclaim July 15th, 2025, let me say that right, as Kenton Ridge Cougar Softball Team Day in Springfield, and we encourage all citizens to join in celebrating this team's historic achievement, exceptional sportsmanship, and the inspiration they provide to young athletes across the community. Thank you. I guess we have to do it now. Okay. I leaned over to Dr. Estrop, who pops out of his seat when we do proclamations, and said, don't do it yet because we want to say a few kind words. So anyway, so we had to stand up with everybody because we wanted to. But I just want to say thank you for being here and what you have done as a team. I know that when you get to that highest level of state championship, it's not only about talent, it's about how you're coached, how you work together, how you're for each other. And that just, like I said, I got to watch a lot of the videos of you all play. My kids followed it. So it was just really cool to see you guys continue to strive and work together as a team. And to the coaches, well done, awesome job. And to the parents, who have not only made this season, but many seasons before, and travel ball and all that stuff, and all your commitment and forever. So thank you for your commitment to your kids as well. Other commissioners?
Go ahead.
Just congratulations and best of luck, whether you're returning to high school or moving on to the next level. I hope that you look back and remember all the memories that you were able to make with your teammates in, high school and everything. So congratulations again.
I know you guys had me yelling at my phone multiple times. Congratulations. Thank you for being an inspiration to our community, bringing positive energy, and especially for the next generation that looks to you as leaders in the community. Thank you, guys.
Softball's a team sport. I think you will find as you go forward in your lives that life is generally a team sport. We're better together. With the support of coaches and parents and loved ones and friends, we can accomplish incredible things. Thank you for doing that, and thank you for championing for everyone, not only in Springfield, but Clark County. Thank you very much, and congratulations.
Thank you. Now, we'd like to get a picture with you, except we have so many. Can you line the front with us? We're going to stand with you, and I'll give the proclamation to either the head coach or whoever the team captain maybe was. We'll go right across the front here. I think you got some other state titles ahead of us, huh?
Congratulations. I don't even want.
You've been so quiet.
That explains a lot.
You look like sisters. Okay, we get to, we're going to honor and bring notice to another worthy organization that does a lot of good for our community. We're going to do a proclamation for the highway hikers tonight, who work hard to raise funds throughout the year for various organizations. So I'm going to go ahead, and you're welcome to come down and sit in the front row. You look a little different than the last group, though, I'll tell you that. Not good or bad, just different. Oh, God. Hey, animals say that? Okay, so we'll go ahead and read the proclamation. Whereas the Highway Hikers Motorcycle Club has been a vital and generous part of our community since its founding. And whereas since 1978, the Highway Hikers Motorcycle Club has organized and hosted the annual Highway Hikers Motorcycle Club Toy Run on the third Sunday of every October, a tradition that has continued uninterrupted for over 4 decades. And whereas the annual Toy Run brings together hundreds of riders and community supporters for the purpose of collecting and distributing toys to children in their need across Clark County, ensuring joy, hope, and dignity for countless families during the holiday season. Whereas the Highway Hikers Motorcycle Club, through their dedication, compassion, and spirit of service, has positively impacted the lives of thousands of local children and demonstrated the powerful role of unity, generosity, and grassroots action in building a stronger community. Whereas it is fitting and proper to recognize and honor the extraordinary civic contributions of the Highway Hikers Motorcycle Club, whose commitment to our children and our community represent the very best of Springfield and Clark County. Now, therefore, I, Rob Rue, Mayor of the City of Springfield and President of our Commission, hereby proclaim the third Sunday of October each year as Highway Hikers Motorcycle Club Day in Springfield, and we urge our citizens to join in recognizing and celebrating the compassion, service, and community spirit demonstrated by this remarkable organization. Thank you. They didn't win the state title. Baron, if you want to say a couple words, if you want to go over and say a couple words on behalf of the hikers, and then we'll get a picture with you guys.
He said just a couple. They all know me too. Thank you very much.
No more than 20 minutes.
Right. No,
Just-
it's been a long day. Thank you very much for this recognition. This is our 47th or 48th year of doing it, and literally millions of dollars have went to the kids of Clark County, and we've never let it be anything but that. We never knew the forefathers that started this club in 1978 would just be beside themselves. You know, there was 17 highway hikers on the first toy run, and we've had as many as 4,000 motorcycles. I mean, if you've seen it come through town, and it's kind of an inconvenience anymore for people wanting to get in and out and stuff, but boy, people are sure, they humor us, and we appreciate that. Because we have one goal and one goal in mind, that no child in Clark County ever wake up without Christmas. And that's our goal. Thank you
So
very much.
we're recognizing now on Christmas in July, so you guys can get some momentum to raise
Yeah.
more and have a bigger ride this year. Am I right?
Yeah,
That's
this
why
is
we're
going
doing.
to be
yeah.
really good PR for us.
Yep.
And I mean, no offense to anybody, but when the suits and the regular people recognize us and go, hey, what are them guys doing? We're shocked every year that people don't know. I always tell everybody it's a great month to be a highway hiker and wear your cut and Kroger's, because little old blue-haired ladies come out and go, "You're the toy run guys." You know, we got a couple brothers that kind of puff up and go, "No, I'm a hiker." No, you're the toy run guys. But that really means a lot to us. And we've been doing this for more than 4 decades. So we've had the opportunity to see people come up to us afterwards and say, "Hey man, I'm 40 years old and I remember we wouldn't have had Christmas if it wasn't for you guys." And that's why we're here supporting it. And if that don't bring a tear to your eye, I don't know what does. So number one goal, it's all about the kids. And we're going to keep it that way as long as there's a highway hiker alive on earth. And I plan on living a long time.
Thank you, Baron.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I think there's some comments from commissioners.
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys. And, we have a very good Memorial Day parade in this community. Excellent. Some would say it's the largest in the country. And when I hear that, I also think, man, how lucky are we to have this toy run? Have you ever seen our toy run? It's legendary. So I just want to thank you guys. And I know I have spent multiple days out at the fairgrounds helping sort your gifts. And, it's really amazing what you pull together as a group. So thank you.
Thanks for all you do. We'd like to get a picture with you guys as well. Why don't you step? Oh, wait, Dr. Estrop has something.
I just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah.
The children, the need in this community for our children is incredible. As former superintendent of the Springfield City Schools, I knew that up close and personal. And you have made a difference for so many children and for their parents. I can't say thank you enough. Our job is going to be even more challenging this year because some of the decisions that are getting made are going to make it more difficult for some of our families in this county and in this city. So the work that you will do in the upcoming time ahead is even more critical. So thank you. Thank you so much.
First off, the vests are super cool. Anyways, thank you for everything you do between you guys and the Salvation Army. Just bringing smiles to kids' faces on Christmas means so much. The only thing, please let us know before your tour and how we can help spread the word and hopefully make it bigger for you this year. But thank you for all you do for the community. It's really important work.
Thank you. Why don't you join us over here for a picture? Right here. Okay, the formal meeting of the City Commission is called to order. Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Brown? Dr. Estrop?
Here.
Mrs. Houston?
Here.
Mrs. Tackett?
Here.
Mr. Rue?
Here. Please stand for the invocation and the pledge. Father, I thank you for just the giving spirit in this community and the generosity that was displayed tonight and the leadership that was displayed and that we got to honor. God, I ask for peace in our community. I ask that you would give us wisdom as we govern. In your name, amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, God, indivisible, liberty, justice. Is there a motion to approve minutes?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes. The City Commission remains committed to creating a conducive environment for constructive and productive dialogue and engagement for our community. Public comments will remain at the beginning of the legislative meeting until the passage of the minutes, 15 minutes after that. Those wishing to speak must fill out a public comment card and provide their name, address, and address for the record. A state-issued ID and/or driver's license must be provided when filling out the card, and only those residing in Springfield and Clark County will be permitted to speak during the public comment period. Comment cards will be accepted again 15 minutes after the start of the legislative meeting. Those who are determined to have provided false information on the card will not be permitted to speak at this meeting, as well as the next regularly scheduled City Commission meeting. We're truly committed to making this meeting an environment where people have the opportunity to share ideas, thoughts, and concerns. The commissioners and staff are listening, taking notes, and researching information relative to each of your comments. While honoring First Amendment principles, the City Commission reserves the right to regulate the time, place, and manner of public comments to ensure that proceedings remain orderly, respectful, and conducive to constructive dialogue. While we fully respect First Amendment rights of all individuals, disruptions or any kind of conduct that impedes the orderly progress of the meeting will not be tolerated. Should any individual be escorted or asked to leave due to disruptive behavior on 3 separate occasions, they will be notified that they are considered trespass and barred from attending any further City Commission meetings. After the public comment period time, City Commission may respond to matters brought forth during the public comment period, and will also direct the city manager and staff to answer questions posed during the public comment period. If a question needs additional research from the city manager and staff, they will follow up with the individual within the next several business days and also post these answers on our website. We have several cards tonight. The last meeting, there was, I think, one card that wasn't filled out entirely, and that person let us know that they didn't get to speak, and I let them know that it was the reason because the card wasn't filled out. So thank you for those who have done that tonight. I think I have Steve Schleither. Sorry, thank you. I haven't said your name in a long time, so thanks, Steve.
I'm here tonight to encourage folks to come out Saturday, July 26th from 10 to 4 for Southside in Bloom, the free tour of 9 community gardens and neighborhood parks in South Springfield. This is our 4th year to highlight places that once were neglected, blighted, or even abandoned, but through the hard work of some dedicated citizens and some support from generous institutions, have been turned into places that are productive, educational, and beautiful, and really improve the community. The places on our tour range from well-known, long-standing places like the Hartman Rock Garden and the Gammon House to smaller, lesser-known, newer places like Melrose Acres or the Dorothy Bacon Memorial Park. But each of these places show an example of how concerned citizens can work together, take a plot of land and cultivate it into something important for our community. I do want to thank the city for recognizing what an asset we've been by sponsoring us each year, and particularly Commissioners Estrop and Tackett for their personal involvement. So if you come out on July 26th and participate, You'll have the opportunity to eat some delicious food, listen to some live music, maybe see some gardening demonstrations and much more. You can get details at our Facebook page or our website, which is just southsideinbloom.com. And I would encourage folks who come out, don't just go to one or two high-profile places. Check out some of the lesser-known places because some of them are real jewels in their own right. And to encourage folks to go to the lesser-known places, we're going to have some checkoff cards. You take your card to each place and you get it stamped. You get 5 stamps and you get a bag full of goodies and a chance to win a painting and a prize. Just to give an example of the kind of thing we have, I brought some seeded bookmarks. You can use this as a bookmark, and when you're done, you can put it in the ground and water it, and you'll get wildflowers to come up out of it. So if it's okay for me to approach the dais, I wanted to give one of these to each of the commissioners and the officials.
Could you repeat the date again, the July?
Last Saturday in July.
Last Saturday,
every year,
July.
July 26, 10 to 4.
Thank you.
And you can take these home as a reminder. Come visit us on the 26th.
Thank you so much. Clara Copeland? I know how to say that name well.
Hello, friends. I just have a couple questions. Towards the end of last fall, South Fountain got blacktop, and it was a real gift and a real wonderful thing. But I'm just wanting to know, when is the project going to get finished? Because it's not been lined, and when you are on Pleasant Street and go across South Fountain, it's bumped getting over the blacktop. So that's question number 1. Question number 2, many, many years ago, I taught at Gray Hill School, which was up on Montgomery, but down below where we got our heat was Clark Middle School. And I don't know if you've had the opportunity to drive all the way down High Street to where Clark Middle School was, but there's a place called Rose Commons that I've been watching develop. And I even drove in yesterday and drove around. It is beautiful. So my question is, for whom is Rose Commons, and when will it be open to residents? So thank you for everything you do.
Thank you. We'll have answers for you. Thank you, Clara. Cindy Mullet?
Three minutes, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Keontra Mays, Miko Taborn, Randy William Graham Jr., Chris Lieberoff, Clifton James Cumming, Spencer Sharp, Ray Estep, Roderick L. Fudd, Tiffany A. Higgins, Richard Howard, Edward Ellington, Richard Bell, Shaheem Gibson, Michael Mentor, Rakeem Ford, Gregory Allen Wells, Kyle M. Harris, James Gillum, Raquel Fowler, Thomas Gill, Daryl Stamper, Kevin Bateau, Tamisha Reed, Darian Welliford, Joshua Tackett, Melvin Lee Bell Jr., Gary Strode, Camille Golden, Brett Love, Antoine Crooks, Philip Riggle, Kashayla Collins, Nevaeh Stewart, Thomas Arnell Stewart, Chad Everett Fent, Nathan Zimmerman, Tyler Fullen, Kane Thompson, Austin Brown, Dalton Mincer, Christy Lally, Corey Hazlett, Stephen Wagner, Antonio Moore, Gary Cameron, Howard Edley, Scott Williams, Doreen Beard, Cedric Holt Jr., Andrea Heiser, Jennifer Sirens, Lindsay Marsh, Lindsay Wilson, Colby Etherington, Joshua Smith, William Allen Beverly Jr., Joshua Brown, Robert Robinson, Anthony Tolliver, James White, Brandon DeArmond, Jeffrey Reif, Lacey Henry, Melody Turner, Timothy Frint, Mark Wells, Kathy Evans, Byron Michael Lawson, Candace Prutney, Shaquan Newby, Charles Murph, Travis Feaster, William Haney, James Mundy, James Rupert, Marquis Whaley, Aiden William Johnson, Dalen Johnson, George Walker, Jeff Wellington, Eric Wheeler, Skylar Mollett, Ernest Edwards, Barry Davis, Chris DeArmond Sr. That's not just 120. That's all I got to give you in 30 or 3 minutes. Those are the names of the victims that have fallen to gun violence in Springfield, Ohio, Clark. And we ask that you help us.
Mike Lyons.
Hello again, everyone, and thanks for listening to me again. I'm with the Clark County Solar Alliance, and let me begin by saying thank you. I know that Mr. Heck reached out to Power a Clean Future Ohio, and that he and his staff met with Joe Florida of the PCFO, so thank you very much. We in the Solar Alliance have no illusions. There's no magic wand that is going to suddenly convert all of Springfield solar or wind or any other clean energy. There are no vast savings that are going to fill all the budget gaps that they have to deal with. But we have to start somewhere. And there is money available from private foundations. And surprisingly, while federal dollars may not be as easy to come by, there still are quite a few federal programs that continue to be funded. And I'm hopeful that PCFO will find some money for some projects. We know that the cost of energy is going up and the demand for energy continues to increase. We saw the article in Sunday's News Sun that there are concerns that the grid, particularly in our region, may not be able to handle the rising demand. A report from CBS News back in September of 2024 talked about how rising temperatures and extreme weather events continue to put considerable strain on the nation's electrical grid. And while the report acknowledged that utility companies are being proactive in strengthening the grid, extreme weather events are making it difficult to keep up. One of the ways we can try to keep up is with clean energy. For the city to move forward with the clean energy program, to put money and effort into such a program will require community support. The Clark County Solar Alliance is ready to help rally that support. As I mentioned in a previous address, the PCFO lists numerous organizations as partners on their website. Springfield has these same organizations, and I believe many would come forward in support with the city to signal a commitment to clean energy by joining PCFO. And we of the Clark County Solar Alliance would be happy to help reach out to these groups and to explain what you are trying to accomplish. So thank you for reaching out to PCFO and to listening to me for the last few meetings, and I'll probably be back. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Dion Green.
Thank you for allowing me to be here. I'm gonna start now. And I'm going to follow up after Sydney as she just read those names. I just took a moment to be quiet because all those names that she wrote, that she said, their voices had been silent by gun violence. And there's still countless more to even name. I just want to speak on the things that we're doing to fight the violence here in the community. There's a lot of organizations that are doing things. I have a program going on up the street, working with the youth from 9 to 3, Monday through Friday. And I'm going to continue it to make it happen even through the school year because I know the continual effort pouring into them can change their lives. And I've already been seeing their lives change. But let me tell y'all something. There's no one effort that can change this fight. This is a marathon. So for everybody that keeps saying there's gun violence, quit saying something and do something about it. Whether you do something in some way or another, get out there and try and do something to combat the violence. And that's all that we ask. So I continue to go around to these organizations in the community that are doing stuff. This Saturday, we have a gun violence walk along with a Community Appreciation Day. And it's just to give the community something to feel joyful about, but also we're going to honor those that we have lost and that we are continuing to still lost. I know that we keep talking about the funding. Man, the funding can't change the community. It's going to take the community to change the community. The last 5 words in community is unity. So come together and stand alongside or stand behind or whatever the case may be, but stand with people that are fighting the fight and quit talking about it. I've been hearing this all over the country. If you're not doing nothing about it, then just stay out the way. And for the last meeting for the media saying that I was competing, there's too much crime to be competing. There's enough crime that we can all fight this battle together.
Thank you. And Daniels.
Diana Daniels. Let's talk about fear-mongering, shall we, for just a moment. Let's talk about the sky is falling. Let's talk about the climate crisis. Let's talk about, oh my God, we have to go to clean energy or we're all going to die. Well, solar energy and clean energy is not the answer. It never was and never will be. It's outdated. There are other programs out there that will certainly take that place more rapidly sooner rather than later. If you want to have solar panels on your house, go right ahead. I'm not paying for it. I belong to a coalition called Not One More Acre. Not one more acre of farmland for solar or for wind, and not one more acre for houses when we have plenty of empty land within the city limits. You want it, you pay for it. Not me, not any other taxpayer. That's fear-mongering right up there. Current amount, total cut. You know why it's being cut? Because of what we did with the open border. That's how you got the people in office that you have now. You want to go to the well? The well is going empty very quickly because citizens are leaving. I just heard from one citizen who goes back 3 generations here in Springfield, and they're leaving. They're taking their money, they're taking their legacy, they're taking their history, and they're not coming back. You're not going to be able to go to the well to replace that. But there is a well. There's a well you can replace that money with. It's called the HBA. Ask them to put that money in. You can get it right from them. There you go.
Jen Casto.
Good evening. My name is Jen Casto, and I'm a local organizer and activist here in Springfield. First, I'd like to take a moment to thank Mayor Rue and the City Commissioners for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight. As you just heard from Sydney and Dion, our city has suffered decades of loss due to gun violence, and it continues. Just last night, another person was shot. This ongoing crisis makes it clear the current strategies are not working. To bring attention to this urgent issue that has claimed so many lives and devastated countless families, we're organizing our 3rd End Gun Violence March this Saturday, July 19th at noon. We will gather at the main entrance of Davie Moore Park at 600 Southwestern Avenue and walk through the surrounding neighborhoods. Afterwards, there will be a free community event also at Davie Moore Park from 1 to 4 p.m. with food, music, face painting, a live performance, and more. With each march, more people join us in this fight for change.
We are especially grateful for Dion Green, CEO and founder of the Fudge Foundation, whose tireless efforts have been vital to this work. We invite everyone to join us on this Saturday. In recent city commission meetings, I've heard frustration about the perception that nothing is being done to address gun violence in Springfield. Let's look at the reality. Springfield has around 130 police officers and Clark County has around 117 deputies, serving a city population of about 58,000 and a county population of roughly 135,000. This means there are approximately 546 residents for every officer. The numbers speak for themselves. Our police force cannot and should not shoulder this responsibility alone. True change starts with our collective commitment. At the last meeting on July 1st, a middle school teacher shared a powerful statement, quote, "My students know how to handle a gun before they can write a compound sentence," end quote. Let that sink in. Schools should be safe havens for our children, not places where they learn to fear violence. There was an offer at the state level to bring in additional help, essentially meaning more police. But we must recognize that we cannot solve gun violence by adding more guns. Real lasting change starts with investing in our youth. Programs like the summer camp run by Dion Green at South Center Street provide critical support, mentorship, and positive alternatives. When we address risk factors and offer resources, we empower our young people to make better choices. If we truly care, we must take action. Join our monthly marches, support organizations like the Fudge Foundation through donations or volunteering. I understand that local government funding is limited, especially after the federal government recently cut $1.2 million or 77% from a Department of Justice grant to prevent community violence. Yet at the state level, $600 million was allocated from unclaimed funds to build a new Brown Stadium in Cleveland. Imagine what an impact that money could have had if invested in violence prevention and community support across cities like ours. Springfield deserves better. Our youth deserve better. Let's come together and take meaningful steps to create a safer, stronger community for everyone. Thank you.
Marcita Jeffrey.
Good evening. Last couple of meetings, it's been mentioned about the heritage of the citizens of Springfield. I just wanted Springfield to know that there was another time where there was a clash of culture here. A struggle between Native Americans trying desperately to defend their way of life and the white settler, equally determined to claim the land. The Shawnee natives who are no longer here. The white settlers could not understand Indian life and saw them as brutal and ugly savages. Their culture was thousands of years old, with their own well-developed sense of holiness of the land and respect for family and friends. They could not understand the white man's need to own the land and force his beliefs on both friends and enemy. I feel as if, once again, we are repeating history. They're trying to take history out of our schools so that we can keep repeating these mistakes. The one other thing I wanted to mention is I was really upset at Dayton 24/7 Now picked the 3 worst testimonies to represent the city of Springfield. We had beautiful testimonies on behalf of the Haitian, and they were not spoken of at all. These 3 people do not represent Springfield. Thank you.
Thank you. Devin Hendricks.
So, you know what I'm here for, the gun violence. Here for the gun violence. Seems like somebody's getting shot between every time we meet up, you know what I'm saying? Last week, or the week before last, y'all was talking about y'all was going to meet up or whatever. And I didn't hear Dion Green's name in that meeting, you know what I'm saying? First, I want to say shout out to the police, though, but they can't stop the gun violence. You get what I'm saying? We really got to, it's a marathon, like he said, and we really got to get in the way of these kids is thinking. And I see it every day. I work down there at the place, and I see it every day. These kids come in, they lost. We only been in there about a month, and they whole way of changing. Imagine if you did that all year. You get what I'm saying? It's just crazy. It's really, really crazy. Last week I had 2 weeks ago, I had a math problem about, how many lost, but my phone had died, so I'm gonna go over it again. 1 body gone, 1 shooter now in the system, 2 mothers grieving, 4 parents hurting, 10 plus family members affected, 30 friends scarred, 100 community members traumatized, 1 whole future never lived, babies that might never be born, and 1 retaliation waiting to happen. It's probably on an innocent person because that person's locked up. So it's a cycle, and it needs to start with these youth and the way of they thinking. These kids grow up with no father figure. Mom is out doing whatever she's doing, might be raised by their grandparents. They can't keep up with them. You know what I mean? Like, nobody knows how to stop this gun violence, but it's common sense. If you change, they're getting younger and younger and younger. And they're at that camp. You know what I mean? His camps that he has, they're there. You get what I'm saying? And they're changing. I heard him say the rock garden. We done went to the rock garden. They at the farm. They at the Peace Museum. Peace Museum, the only one in America. They there. And they're seeing new things, and we're opening up their mind. You know what I'm saying? Dion is teaching them how to think, though, with the mental health. Like, this is big. So if we really, 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 really want to try to change this, we got to start with the youth. Got to start with Dion Green. That's been working and knowing. One youth, I just want to say this real quick. 1 youth that was in the trouble. You got to hear a song. All his pain is in his song that he is now on YouTube, and now he has a whole new outlook of life. You know what I mean? He wants to be somebody now. Let's take care of our youth. Thank you.
Thank you. Gene Barnett.
Mayor Rue and city commissioners, 2 weeks ago, when I was listing many of our success stories that you have all worked on, I forgot to mention the new fire stations and the smaller, quicker, on-demand field trip vans that are in a transition phase starting today. And what I wanted to speak of is 62 years ago, in 1963, Dr. Martin Luther King wrote a book titled Why We Can't Wait. Dr. King said of his children, "I dream that one day soon they will no longer be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character." We're still waiting 62 years later. And Dr. King wrote, "Freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed." We all need to step up and speak truth to power. The Bible says, "Love thy neighbor as you would love thyself." And I appreciate all of the churches who have the courage, along with you, the city commissioners, for stepping up and helping our neighbors with kindness, love, and support. And right now, I ask our community to please help more to do something. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you. That is the end of our comment time. Just want to say to all those that were, the citizens are speaking out on gun violence, and those that are here representing programs and efforts to speak to our youth. I truly appreciate that. I have visited a couple of camps myself, and I just see the heart in the eyes of those kids. They don't want to do what they've seen. And I have seen that, and I just appreciate the fathers and the mothers that are trying to step in and grab a bunch of kids and embrace them. I've seen that, and I appreciate it. There's several fathers that I've seen just kind of jump in, and I appreciate their efforts. I really do. And I appreciate the names even being read tonight, and just remembering the names of the lost lives, because it's important that the names are said and that memory is alive. There's other comments. I know Brian will have answers to Ms. Clara's question. I know the commissioners want to speak as well. So why don't we go ahead and continue?
Yes. Yes. So the two questions, I'll start with the second one. The project out on High Street is referred to as the Rose Commons Apartments, and it's a brand new, coming very soon, housing community that offers affordable 2 and 3 bedroom apartments. It's an income qualified project, so that affordable housing project. And so to obtain an application, they state to go to the Community Gardens Apartments, which is the newer apartments that are out on the old community hospital site on the east end of High Street, which is operated by Neighborhood Housing Partnership. So if you would like to get an application or obtain an application, please go to their apartment rental office at Community Gardens, which is located at 2633 Astor Circle. And it should be opening very soon, but they are taking applicants for those apartments. And then I'll ask Chris Moore to provide a status update on the South Fountain project.
So the South Fountain Avenue project has been delayed for quite some time. I see Claudia nodding her head over there. So originally, it was found that the street light wires were poured into the curb. So when we started doing curb work, it started damaging the street light wires. We worked very quickly to start to remedy that problem on our end, and then got to a place where we have to wait on Ohio Edison. Ohio Edison was delayed multiple times because of storms. They came back to town a few weeks ago and made it 2 days before we had the big windstorm, and they have not been back since. We're anxiously and eagerly working to get them back here to get the streetlight wires wrapped up and the poles moved. The reason we don't want to finish the road prior to that is because we don't want to have to dig any holes in the new road that we don't have to. We're at Ohio Edison's mercy. We're doing everything we can to get them back. But anytime you see a nasty storm, and really in a pretty large area of Ohio, it's going to pull their resources away for a little bit.
Claudia, hey, I have to silence you like I'd have to silence anybody, so please don't ask questions from your seat.
I will say we will, if I get a good solid update, I will bring it here to City Commission, and we do our best to keep in touch with Claudia, and I'm certain she spreads the word to the rest of the neighborhood.
Thank you. Your husband wanted to go and sing at the mic. I'd let that, though. Thank you, Claudia. Okay. Just want to be fair. All right. Is there any other answers to questions? Okay.
That was it.
Okay. Other comment, commissioners?
Yes, I just wanted to speak. There's been a lot of noise and some confusion regarding the potential levy on sales tax for the county. I'm sure most of you saw it in the news this week. So I just wanted to kind of highlight a couple of things. So the first of 2 public hearings will be Thursday, July 24th at approximately 6:30 p.m. at the fairgrounds. The second will be Wednesday, July 30th, approximately 10 a.m. In the Commission chambers out on East Main in the government building. County Commission, not this one. And on the 31st of July at 6 p.m., there is a work session to learn more about the potential new facility, but no comments will be taken at that meeting. So highly encourage you to attend all, and I just wanted to clear some of those things up.
Thank you. Commissioner Tackett.
The meeting at the fairgrounds, I believe, is it in the Arts and Crafts building specifically?
It is, yes.
Right.
Yep,
Okay.
good call. Arts and Crafts Building.
Thank you.
Address, just for the record, too, since 4401 South Carlson Pike in Springfield.
And I know I've seen some confusion, like, or folks are not going to have to pay to get in the fair to attend
Correct.
this meeting.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
They just
As long as they tell them. at
let
the
them
gate.
know.
Correct.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Yep, good call.
I want to bring up a couple of things. So Steve was here announcing about Southside and Bloom, and I do get to help with that effort every year. And it's just amazing the volunteers that come together and the magic they create at these different pocket areas in our community that maybe you don't always travel to, but it is such a great experience to get out there. So I totally encourage you to do that. And I believe that was July 26th. One piece of that underneath the South Side and Bloom is the Jefferson Street Oasis. So he brought up food and annual grilling in the garden and community garden tour. Like, yes, it's Saturday, July 26th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Gene is a part of that here, and he wrote up a little bit of a description, discover the uniqueness of each garden, check out the chickens. There is a lot of chickens. And that part is at my old school, if you're familiar with the St. Teresa School, and it became Holy Trinity School. That's where I went to. So it's great to see the evolution of that area being used in this way. But there's chickens. I never believed I would see chickens on my playground. There's a poly house, a pollinator, herb, and children's gardens. They roast corn, vegetable dishes, and you get to make your own pizzas. Be forewarned, the pizzas are the bomb and the line can be long because they are fresh and they do them right on site and you get to kind of build your own. It's a really cool experience. It is free and open to the community. This portion of the South Side in Bloom, the Jefferson Street Oasis grilling opportunity is at 1027 West High. Their vision is healthy, more self-sufficient Springfield citizens dedicated to growing, preparing, and preserving their own food. When hands are working side by side, all stereotypes disappear and a common goal exists. So thanks, Jean, for sending in that information. And again, highly encourage citizens to go out there. I do appreciate the thoughtfulness and the meaning and purpose behind number one, sharing the names of the folks and the gun violence moment that we took in the moment of silence. I lost a daughter, so I really take this stuff seriously. I do want to say, in regards to guns, because we have now talked about it a few times up here, you know, I stand that guns are more available today to purchase than they were then when I was younger. They're more accessible to get, and there is a culture of normalizing them. There's an evolution of youth being willing to risk it all, meaning going into the mental health issues. So I do appreciate that folks come out and talk about our community to us, but it is a very big, complex issue. I believe all of the commissioners would love to eradicate gun violence, and so would the chief and both of our chiefs there. So I encourage you to keep bringing us resources, keep bringing us ideas and things that you're hearing out there. We are more than willing to listen and see what we can do from this seat, this position. We need all the positions above us to get into the game, right? I want to say also, thanks, Maru, green energy. So one of the very first groups that got with me once I was sworn in was a green energy group trying to educate me and get me more involved and more informed about that. Same with the gun violence, same as green energy. I'm down to explore those options. Anything we can do to save the city and the citizens money smartly, right? Let's just make sure we're doing it right as we start to introduce it more and more into our community. I know for sure that I'm going to start following it more now that I see more happening in the county and things going on over there around it. And the last thing I want to share is I took a field trip van today to the commission meeting. So as I promised the citizens last meeting that I would show up today in a field trip van. And I want to thank the driver, John, who brought me. I had a great experience. The vans were nice. He was very friendly. I think that, again, as we start to develop this program and bring it into our community, we will be listening for any barriers that folks face and try to remove those barriers to make it easier for our citizens and again, more accessible. So we are here to listen. We're here to see that program succeed and do what we can to help it grow. So thank you. Thank you to the field trips folks today. I think we had 14 vans on the street today. Is that what I heard? Okay. And we have 16 total. So I'll be looking to see those run around. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Rue, fellow commissioners, ladies and gentlemen. The numbers haven't changed since our last meeting in terms of absolute cuts. $4,254,434.08 has been removed from spending within Springfield and Clark County. Was it because the federal government said we had to have the money? No. It's because they wanted to spend it in other places. They have different priorities. And as they said in their letter to OIC, this is not a priority, youth gun violence. So if you want to make yourself heard that youth gun violence is a priority and needs to be a priority, please go to our website or go on the web and get the name of our Congressman, Mike Turner, and for some who live outside of Springfield, Mike Carey, and write to them at the U.S. House of Representatives. Also our two senators, Senator Husted and Senator Bernie Moreno. If you truly believe that youth gun violence needs a priority, they need to hear it because they haven't heard it up to this point. They have certainly made other things a priority. And in terms of the availability of guns, we control nothing to do with that. That's controlled by the federal government and by the state of Ohio. The state of Ohio passed the laws that said we're open carry.
Diane.
Thank you, Diane. I'm glad you support my position.
Please stop. Please stop. Thank you, Diane. Okay. Thank you, Diane.
The state of Ohio passed the open gun law. And I think we ought to be looking at, since they passed the law, is this state a safer place? Because I don't think it is. But I want to see some numbers. In addition, this week, we got some bad news from HUD. So we've created a new category that you can find on our website. It's called at-risk funding. For those who have spoken before this group, before a commission, about housing and the importance of housing and the support of housing, particularly low-income and affordable housing, we've got some real bad news for you. If you would scroll on down, please. Thank you. I can't read the number. 2 million. 100, could you read it for me?
2179307.
2,179,000.
179,000.
We've lost, or it appears we're going to lose, for support of homeless services, for affordable housing, for what you have said in our next 5-year plan we need. The feds have announced it's not in the budget. That's why we're calling it at risk. None of those services now will be funded by the federal government. Now, there is some reconciliation work that has to go on with the House and the Senate. But the bottom line is, right now it looks pretty dim. So I, again, want to encourage you to write to your representatives in the U.S. Congress both the House and the Senate, and encourage them to allocate as much as they can. Unfortunately, the budget that the president signed does not include these funds. So it's an uphill battle. How much are we going to have left, Logan, if I can call on you?
Yes, sir. If I could just give a quick update. As we know, information changes quickly and has changed just since we spoke yesterday. So the House Transportation, Housing, and Urban Development and Related Agencies Appropriations Committee, THUD, did meet yesterday to mark up their fiscal year 26 spending bill. The subcommittee leadership did provide a preview, and that is available online, of their spending bill. And that measure does fully restore CDBG funds at the amount of $3.3 billion. So that is great news, and of course has changed since we spoke yesterday, and that does continue with leveled funding for ESG. What I will say is home dollars were not included in the House's version, and they are expected to vote on this later this week, and it is expected to be approved along party lines by the House Appropriations Committee, and then it would then move to the Senate. So there's still plenty of work to be done. I believe on the website you do see your senators online as well, and we provided a letter that the community can also fill out. So your senator is online, your House of Representatives member is online, and then a draft letter that basically speaks to the importance of both CDBG and home fund. So all of that's available on the website, but it is great news worth noting to both you and the community that the House's version does include CDBG funding, although it hasn't yet been voted on.
I appreciate you updating us. That is extremely good news. But I want to encourage you to write to these elected officials in Washington and thank them for restoring some of the funds, but encouraging them to restore more.
Yes,
so
sir.
We'll see how it works out. Thank you, Logan.
Okay, thank you. We'll continue on to our first readings by title only.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a pre-annexation agreement with Eric Gokenauer for the real property located at 2604 Columbus Avenue. Authorizing the city manager to submit the 2025-2029 Consolidated Plan and 2025 Action Plan of the City of Springfield, Ohio, to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, and authorizing the city manager, finance director, law director, and community development director to do all things they deem necessary to implement, operate, and administer the city's Community Development Block Grant Program, Emergency Shelter Grant Program, and Home Program. Authorizing the city manager to enter into a subrecipient agreement with the Clark County Land Reutilization Corporation to provide CDBG funding to assist with the construction of recreational facilities located at 504 West Euclid Avenue in an amount not to exceed $150,000. Authorizing the finance director to purchase up to 2,875 tons of rock salt for the 2025-2026 winter season from Morton Salt Incorporated for an amount not to exceed $200,042.50 through the Ohio Department of Transportation Cooperative Purchasing Program in accordance with the provisions of Section 5513.01B of the Ohio Revised Code. Authorizing and directing the submission to the electors of the City of Springfield, Ohio, proposed amendment to Section 47 of the Charter of the City of Springfield, Ohio, providing for the designation of all positions within the police division above the rank of lieutenant as unclassified and to allow for lateral entry for the position of firefighter paramedic. Authorizing and directing the submission to the electors of the City of Springfield, Ohio, proposed amendment to Section 92 of the Charter of the City of Springfield, Ohio, providing for the unclassification of positions within the police and fire division of the city.
Is there information you can explain, Brian, on first readings before we continue and have questions from commissioners?
Yes, a couple things, and I'll also ask staff to step in as well. One, as Logan indicated in her public hearing earlier, this item that is before you as a first reading comes from the public hearing at the last meeting, which represented the consolidated plan for 2025 through 2029 funds, which is that amount up to $11 million, which hopefully, as we heard just from her tonight, will be restored through now the House version and voted and approved, and then also adopted in the Senate version as well, so that we can continue the great work through our entitlement funding and programming. Also, the subrecipient agreement with the Clark County Land Reutilization Corporation is providing additional resources and funding for the construction of recreational facilities at the former Euclid Element site. So if you recall, we worked to have that site demolished, and the land bank helped with cleanup and providing the opportunity to redevelop that into an asset for the neighborhood as other investment is going on concurrently. And so this helps fund additional investments in that park infrastructure that they're looking to do on that site. And then, as always, we come, we don't like to think about winter, but we have to start preparing, and this allows us to purchase an up to amount that would cover us for our highest winter season. And again, we work through that Ohio Department of Transportation Cooperative Purchasing Program, which provides us an opportunity at a little bit better price. I would ask if Jill Allen could address 187-25 and 188-25, which are proposed charter amendments.
Yes, Brian, thank you. For the first one, the first charter amendment that's proposed is 18725. There are two changes with that charter amendment. The first one is all positions above and the police division above lieutenant will be unclassified, and allowing lateral entries for firefighter and paramedics and setting those standards. For the second ordinance that's proposed is 18825, and it is to section 92. It is adding the word unclassified and adding the word, unclassified positions, adding the word, so it now includes classified, reorganize, abolish positions, and adding the word unclassified.
Okay. We speak to more of that. Make it, what does that mean to the citizens? Why are we putting unclassified in there? Can we help explain some of that?
This allows us more flexibility with our police department. We are putting it as a proposed charter amendment because it is in the charter, so that requires the people to vote for that and support it.
Okay. Comments from commissioners on first readings? Comments from the audience on first readings only? If you could go to the podium, please, ma'am. Thank you. Marcita? Nope, not Marcita. It's the mask.
I'm
You guys
wear the mask.
Marcita's wearing a green shirt.
I'm confused. 185-24 concerning the 504 West Euclid Avenue. It seems like here it has already been approved, but I got a notice that said there's a meeting.
So this has not been approved. This is a first reading.
This is the first
This
reading.
is the first reading. So it's good to have comments about this. Go
And
ahead.
I can have staff clarify. I think it potentially is a zoning meeting associated
Yes,
with it.
correct.
So
It's a zoning meeting, correct, to meet with the community to find out, to get input, so forth. So I got my notice.
Yeah.
I was just, like I said, I was confused. Okay, but like you said, it was the first read.
Yes, there will be a BZA, Board of Zoning
Right.
Appeals case to hear a conditional use permit. That's for the park use itself.
Right.
And that's a separate item from what's being discussed tonight.
Right, okay, all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Amanda Richardson here. Can we get some more clarification on what is removing the unclassified for from the sections with police and fire? Is that like they were previously classified a long time ago? They're not union anymore? We need to remove
I guess
unclassified?
that's a great question, because that's really what I want us to explain is what is the purpose of having an unclassified position? Explain that to the audience, so we can understand.
So the classified position is part of the revised code. It allows there to be a certain protocol that has to be implemented if there is any kind of termination, if they're rehiring. And what we're proposing is to change the word unclassified. So above the rank of lieutenant would be unclassified. It is currently classified right now. The other change in that same code section is lateral entries for firefighters and paramedics.
Yeah, so currently there is a section that allows for lateral entry of our police division, which means you would have a different process than going through the civil service process and so forth, taking the test. That currently does not exist on the fire side. And so that would allow for the opportunity for us to allow current paid firefighter EMS personnel to apply to be with the city of Springfield that maybe have worked elsewhere but would like to come to the city of Springfield. And we see that happen on the police side, and so mirroring that and making that, putting that in place for the fire rescue division as well to mirror the very similar language as the police has.
Okay, and then for the question about the classified, unclassified, was it with classified, were you previously following like the state of Ohio's general, what they do for classified at their level? Or I'm just curious, that's all.
We have our own Civil Service Commission that we follow our own regulations, but there is the revised code 124 is what you're probably referring to.
Okay, yep, cool, thank you.
Okay. We'll continue with second readings.
Amending ordinance number 9190, passed March 12, 1991, and commonly known as the codified ordinances of the city of Springfield, Ohio, by the enactment of chapter 158 under the administrative code entitled Board of Zoning Appeals.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Other comments from commissioners? Dr. Estrop?
I was wondering, this is just cleanup language as I recall, but would you mind explaining it?
Yeah, so specifically, commissioners, we, as you know, adopted a brand new zoning code earlier this year, and one of the areas is the Board of Zoning Appeals to make sure it's structured correctly and putting it under Chapter 158, which is under the administrative section of the code, just establishing the rules, the procedures of the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Thank you.
The comments from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into amendment number 1 to the contract with MaxSolve Environmental and Safety Consultants for environmental consulting services to amend the scope of services and increase the contract by $162,900 for a total amount not to exceed $262,900 for the initial contract year.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Other comments from commissioners? Dr. Estrop?
Couple of questions. What specific services are we getting? And secondly, where is the funding coming from for this?
Yes, Commissioner. So this is specifically for brownfield phase 1 and phase 2 assessment work. So as we partner with the land bank and work to identify and clean up old industrial sites throughout the community, we work with consultants and we procured that through an RFQ to have several different options. But this funding is brownfield funding that is provided from the state of Ohio through then the Clark County Land Bank that works with us.
Very good. Thank you.
The comments from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Confirming and approving an additional expenditure for temporary staffing services with Express Employment Professionals for an amount not to exceed $5,250 for a total amount not to exceed $82,500 for services to be provided through June 30, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Other comments from commissioners? From the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with LaHoist North America of Missouri Incorporated for the purchase of quicklime for a period of 1 year with an option to renew for 2 additional 1-year periods for an amount not to exceed $1,500,000 $552,200 for the initial one-year period.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Other comments from commissioners? Dr. Estrop?
What will the quick line be used for, and what is the funding for this? Where do we get the money to buy this?
Yes. Chris Moore?
The lime is used at the water treatment plant. It is used to soften the water, and the funding of this comes from water revenue, from the water and sewer, or the water bills that our citizens pay.
The point is, it doesn't come out of our general fund. This comes out of the fund that serves to collect what people are paying on their water and sewer bill.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Comments from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into a development incentive agreement, non-residential development, to provide for sewer services to real property outside the city limits located at 2404 Troy Road.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Other comments from commissioners? From the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Authorizing the city manager to submit an application for financial assistance and accept a grant from the state of Ohio, Ohio Public Works Commission, to obtain funding in an amount up to $195,162 for the CLA 40-14.14 PID number 117962, and authorizing the city manager, law director, finance director, and city engineer to do all things they consider necessary for the submission of the application for financial assistance and the acceptance of the grant.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Other comments from commissioners? From the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Authorizing the city manager to submit an application for financial assistance and accept a grant from the state of Ohio, Ohio Public Works Commission, to obtain funding in an amount up to $854,027 for the CLA Springfield Miscellaneous Resurfacing Fiscal Year 27, PID number 118647, and authorizing the city manager, law director, finance director, and city engineer to do all things they consider necessary for the submission of the application for financial assistance and the acceptance of the grant.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Other comments from commissioners? From the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Authorizing the fiscal officer to establish a super blanket purchase order as authorized in resolution number 6152 to increase Columbia Gas in the amount of $50,000.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Other comments from commissioners? From the audience? Dr. Estrop, you had a
Yeah, I was just curious how we had a super blanket with Columbia Gas.
Yes, Commissioner. So as you stated, this is a super blanket purchase order for Columbia Gas. It's to cover the city's natural gas expenses through the remainder of the year. And just to provide some education on super blanket purchase orders, they are defined by Ohio Revised Code. And it's a purchase order that's used for recurring or predictable expenses such as utilities, which makes this a prime candidate for a super blanket.
Exactly. Thank you.
You're welcome.
comments from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Tackett?
Yes.
Mrs. Houston?
Yes.
Dr. Estrop?
Yes.
Mr. Rue?
Yes.
Amending ordinance number 9190, passed March 12, 1991, and commonly known as the codified ordinances of the city of Springfield, Ohio, by amending certain sections of Part 11 entitled Zoning Code and declaring an emergency therein.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. I have a question why we're seeing this as an emergency ordinance.
Yes, so commissioners, this is as it relates to the zoning code that was adopted earlier this year. And this corrects, deletes, and makes some minor additions. Obviously, the code was over 300 pages, so certainly there's areas, as we've been working through it, that we want to clean up and have in place immediately, which warrants the emergency action here.
Thanks. Other comments from the audience? Or call the roll?
Dr. Estrop,
Yes?
Mrs. Houston,
Yes.
Mrs. Packett,
Yes.
Mr. Rue.
Yes.
Authorizing an increase to the master services agreement with Verdantis LLC for professional consulting services to be used by various city departments for an amount not to exceed $25,500 for a total agreement amount not to exceed $643,639 and declaring an emergency therein.
I'll move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Could you explain what Verdantis is doing for the city again, please?
Yes, so Verdantis is one of the other companies that is performing Phase 1 and Phase 2 environmental work to get clearance. This is associated with the Euclid Elements project and is tied to the submittal of the no further action letter with the Ohio EPA so that we can get additional clearance. But Ohio EPA responded with the letter by requiring some additional testing just to ensure groundwater will not flow onto neighboring residential properties to the north. So this is for that additional testing just to make sure everything's good before they sign off on the no further action letter.
Outstanding. Comments from commissioners from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Houston,
Yes.
Mrs. Packett,
Yes.
Dr. Estrop,
Yes.
Mr. Rue.
Yes.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into an employment incentive agreement with 4 Connection LLC to incentivize the enhancement of its facility located at 608 West Southern Avenue to create employment and new investment in the city. Authorizing the city manager, finance director, and law director to do all things necessary to implement the said employment incentive agreement and declaring an emergency therein.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Just want to say this organization is, this is one of the opportunities that the city has given several small businesses throughout the last few years to be able to apply for small grants to be able to help boost them and their startups. Core 4 is an organization that they just have a lot of energy behind them, and they're doing great things. And that project that they're working on Euclid and West Southern it's really cool. So they're really doing some neat things and restoring an old building there. So other comments from commissioners? Dr. Estrop?
I just want to echo what you said, Mayor Rue. This is a great opportunity and delighted to see Core 4 Connection involved in this and wish them the very best of luck. I think this along the bike path is going to be a great addition to the city of Springfield and rolling out the welcome mat to those who choose to use the bicycle path.
Other comments from the audience? You want to go right to the mic, please? Also is a revitalizing that neighborhood effort too. So it's so much.
I want to affirm this as well. We've heard about initiatives for the well-being of our young people, concern about what's happening. That's an investment in the future for our community. And somehow or another, I've been here for a lot of years and we've been fighting issues with violence all of that time for a whole lot of reasons. And this is another wonderful effort. And nobody, to invest in this way, in such a positive way, I really want to commend these folks and the commission for supporting it, whoever does, because that's what makes a difference. Nobody's going to come to save us. That's one of the things about, you want somebody to come save us. Here's somebody who's really taking the initiative and the risk to do this. And I want to affirm them. I thank you for your support of it, and I hope others as well will step up to do things like this for the well-being of our community.
And just so folks understand the scope of the grant, this is in comparison to what they're spending on this facility, this is a small grant. But they've already invested so much of their own resources and monies. This is just giving them a small boost. But yet, still, it basically shows that the city is behind their efforts and their investment in the community. The comments from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Tackett,
Yes.
Dr. Estrop,
Yes.
Mrs. Houston,
Yes.
Mr. Rue.
Yes.
A motion appointing Taylor Laughlin to the Community Beautification Committee with no term expiration.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Other comments from commissioners? From the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Houston,
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett,
Yes.
Dr. Estrop,
Yes.
Mr. Rue.
Yes.
A motion appointing Victoria Lineberger to the Community Beautification Committee with no term expiration.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. So that means we have these two folks for life. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Complete life. And
No, I'm kidding.
I'm very happy that I
Just
helped
ask
recruit them.
Mary Ann Nave.
Yes.
Right. I
Yeah,
do
very,
want to.
very happy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
this
Tracy.
is one of the committees I serve on
Mhm.
behalf of us in the city. I do want to just say, like, this committee specifically, Community Beautification Committee, has been around 60 years. And so to have some new folks show an interest in joining the efforts to beautify Springfield and recognize the folks, the businesses, the homes that put so much effort into their properties and the work that they do. I just want to thank them and, of course, give a shout out to Mary Ann Nave, who has chaired it the whole time, like longest serving volunteer probably ever in our city. And we're very thankful for her. She's excellent. And then Dwayne Sims is the co-chair. So just a shout out to them.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Thank you. Hey, clerk, call the roll.
Mrs. Tackett,
Yes.
Dr. Estrop,
Yes.
Mrs. Houston,
Yes.
Mr. Rue.
Yes.
We have one item that was added to the agenda, appointing Christian Raffensperger to the Historic Landmarks Commission.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. The comments from commissioners?
Just again, another committee I help us out with, and just want to thank them for serving.
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
The comments from the audience? Clerk, call the roll.
Dr. Estrop,
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett,
Yes.
Mrs. Houston,
Yes.
Mr. Rue.
Yes. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Clerk, call the roll.
Dr. Estrop,
Yes.
Mrs. Houston,
Yes.
Mrs. Tackett,
Yes.
Mr. Rue.
Yes. We're adjourned. Thanks for coming.